Hi, this is Shu with a review of the Nike Zoom Type. I've been really looking forward to this shoe because this is actually an affordable version of the Vaporflies or the Alpha Flies. It's called a Zoom Type probably because it feels like a raw extraction from a prototype factory. As you can tell, this is not exactly a performance-worthy looking sneaker. It's also one of the N 354 models. So you'll see some of them. This is dedicated to Steve Prefontaine, one of the runners that worked with Nike earlier with Phil Knight and Bill Bowerman. The three of them experimented together with a lot of creative and outlandish ways to build new types of running shoes. He is remembered and recognized for just giving it his all without pacing. Pacing was not his thing. He apparently just pushed himself from the get-go, from 0 to 100, going all out to see if he can get it done at 100. So he embodies the spirit of Nike quite a lot, and unfortunately he passed away at an early age, so all the more reasons why Bill Bowerman, Phil Knight, and the team at Nike continue to produce shoes to pay tribute to a legend and an icon that enabled the company to stand where it is today. Anyway, the Zoom Type is as I earlier mentioned, sort of like a prototype stage version of the Alpha Fly or the Vaporfly. As you can tell, the midsole is separated by a spring plate that goes straight and dips down a little bit to provide that propulsion, and also there's Zoom Air right below the plate to provide that extra bounce and cushioning. Despite what it looks like on the outside, it actually has a very decent heel-to-toe drop, which is one of my key concerns when they put excessive Zoom Air and nothing at the back. And the plate works really good. I mean, the cushioning itself is very soft, but at the same time, it really propels you. It really provides you with an extra bounce. Yep. This is why Kipchoge, the man who has been the face of the Vaporfly and the Alpha Fly, have been criticized for having an unfair advantage because of this propulsion gimmick, if you could call it a gimmick. But it's not carbon fiber like the Alpha Flies, but it feels more or less the same. It feels just, they don't use Zoom X on the foam. It's probably Cushlon or some very low density EVA foam. They did not specify if it's Lunar or React, but they feel better than any Lunar or React out there. It's very, very soft, but not too soft in the way that the Zoom BB Next feels, which is 3 unnecessary layers of React that just sinks you in but provides no energy return. The heel cup is non-existent, so you might worry if this is stable enough, but it is actually stable because of this excessive zoom bag that protrudes out and works like an outrigger. As you can tell, it has a very wide base, and this is firm enough to provide that anti-inversion support. But I wish they would have used the plastic to put it at the bottom of the Zoom Air, but still, even if they put it at the top, you can really feel the Zoom Air, and it feels like it can prevent you from getting blisters on your pivot points, which is great. The foam here is basically very paper thin. Your feet is actually right on top of the Zoom bag and this plastic little plate, so there's enough foam to prevent you from hitting the plastic plate and feeling blisters, but at the same time adequate impact protection and softness to make sure you make a good transition to feel the softness and the energy return from this huge Zoom bag. By the way, the Zoom Air, it might remind you of the LeBron's series, which was the earlier models to have the Zoom pods. They are way thicker than the ones you find in the LeBrons, as you can tell, like double the size. So it feels awesome, but at the same time, it doesn't feel really high off the ground. It feels a lot stable than it looks like. It fits true to size. The upper, they have this very strange, lazy design that makes it look like a dress shoe. Maybe that's what they were going for. There are 2 points where they have reflective 3M Scotch material. 3 actually. And these perforations are directly just, there's nothing in it. It's just one layer and hole, so it's pretty well ventilated around the toe box area. The leather, it's not elastic. So it feels like the kind of leather they used in the Kobe 80 mid. Yeah. So I wish they could have used some sort of a flywire or some reinforcements here, but they didn't. But it's still good enough to provide decent lockdown. And again, I mentioned the outrigger does an amazing job of providing an extra level of stability. It fits true to size for a size US 9 for me. The toe box, it hugs your foot. It does not let your toe wander all over the place. At the same time, it's not restricting, so it's good. It only weighs about a 310 gram, which is crazy considering the amount of tech involved here. For size 9, 310 grams, that's really super light. And they do have an insole which is very paper thin, ortholite insole. So the insole is just there, and even without the insole, you can feel the amazing plushness of the foam and the energy return of the plate that goes strategically from here to down there to provide that propulsion. It's not crazy expensive like the Vaporflies or the Alpha Flies, which cost like, I don't know, 300, 400 bucks. This costs just slightly over 150, something like that. So it's pretty affordable. They do have another colorway which is sort of like black and lime green and orange accentuations, but yeah, this is a pretty decent color too. It's like gray, kind of bluish gray, sort of like the shoes that Steve Nash used to wear with the Zoom BBs, with the little Steve Nash logo. The heel cup is a little unfortunate, but it's not fatal. It could be dangerous depending on what kind of a player you are. I wouldn't recommend playing a lot of sports that involve drastic lateral movement. This was not a sports performer to begin with, but the outsole itself is screaming to be tested on any surface, because the traction is like the waffle traction with some added layers of grooves inside and some thick waffle pattern at the heel to provide cushioning, and this little dugout, little concave little space here is sort of like an extra level of cushioning as the foam expands, like the ones they used in the Jordan 30s. So this is fantastic. You can actually feel it working like a suction cup on clean grounds every now and then, going. Casually you could play tennis in it or shoot around a little bit. Don't know about intense performing. Maybe running a little bit. But again, it's amazing what kind of ankle protection, I suppose, anti-ankle rollover protection you get with these amazing base and outrigger. They should do more of this, or a little bit more firmness, or plastic support here at the edge. Do more of this for basketball shoes, please.